The anvil does not ask the hammer why it strikes, nor does the hot iron complain of the fire. They understand the forge is not a place of punishment, but of transformation. You pray for a life without pain. You seek a path around the mountain, a river without rapids, a sun that never sets. You view suffering as a cosmic error, a failure of God's plan, a sign of your own missteps. I tell you, you have misunderstood the entire enterprise. Suffering is not the opposite of a good life. It is the catalyst. It is the chisel that sculpts the soul, the fire that tempers the will, the burden that strengthens the back. Look at the mightiest oak in the forest. Its glory is not in spite of the storms it has weathered, but because of them. Every gale that threatened to tear it from the earth instead forced its roots deeper into the dark, nourishing soil. Every lightning scar is a testament to its endurance. Its very fiber, its strength, its character, is a living record of every hardship it has overcome. It is not a tree that has avoided suffering. It is a tree that has used it. So it is with you. The man who has known no hardship is a shallow stream, clear only because nothing disturbs its bed. The man who has been broken by the waves, who has known loss, failure, heartache, and despair, and who has chosen to rebuild himself, not as he was, but as something new, possesses a depth that can never be plumbed. His soul has a history written in the language of scars, and that history is his wisdom. Do not seek to avoid suffering. Seek instead to suffer well. There is an art to it. There is a nobility in meeting adversity, not with a whimper, but with a steady gaze and a clenched jaw. The raw material of your character is soft and malleable. Suffering is the forge. You can either be consumed by the flames, or you can allow yourself to be shaped by them. The choice is yours. Will you be the victim, crying out at the injustice of the heat? Or will you be the blacksmith, using that very same heat to hammer yourself into a weapon of purpose and a tool of grace? I do not speak of the petty sufferings of ego, the slighted pride, the minor inconveniences, the bruised vanity. These are not the sacred fire. They are the crackling of thorns under a pot, loud and quickly spent. I speak of the profound sufferings, the loss that hollows you out, the failure that shatters your self-image, the betrayal that teaches you the price of trust, the illness that introduces you to the fragility of your own body. These are the trials by fire. These are the moments that define you. In the crucible of such pain, all pretense is burned away. The titles you held, the money you accumulated, the opinions of others, these are but ash. What remains is the essential you, the raw, unvarnished core of your being. And in that terrifying clarity, you are presented with a fundamental question. Who are you when you are nothing? The answer you give, not with your words, but with the tenor of your spirit, will echo through the rest of your days. This is the alchemy of the soul, to take the base lead of agony and transmute it into the gold of wisdom. The man who has never stared into the abyss may be happy, but he can never be wise. For wisdom is not the accumulation of facts, it is the integration of pain. It is the understanding that comes from having been to the brink and returned, not unscathed, but changed. Your suffering is your credential. It is what qualifies you to speak to the heart of another human being. Your scars are not things to be hidden in shame. They are proof that you have fought battles and survived. They make you a guide for those who are still lost in the dark wood of their own despair. Your greatest ministry will not spring from your victories, but from your wounds. Therefore, do not curse the darkness. Do not rage against the storm. Do not ask, why me? Instead ask, what is this here to teach me? How can this break me open to make me more compassionate, more resilient, more real? Meet your suffering as a teacher, however harsh. Welcome it at the door, though it comes dressed in rags and smelling of the grave. For it brings with it a gift, the gift of a forged soul, a heart that has been broken open, not apart, and is now vast enough to hold the suffering of the world. The world screams in 1,000 voices, each demanding your attention, your fear, your allegiance. But the still, small voice that matters speaks only in the cathedral of silence you must build within. You are a pond upon which the world casts its stones. Ripples of anxiety, waves of opinion, the constant splash of news and noise. They disturb your surface until you can no longer see your own depths. You have become a reflection of everything outside of you, and you have lost the image of what lies within. You seek answers in the clamor, but truth is not shouted in the marketplace. It is whispered in the sanctuary of silence. I have walked in the wilderness for 40 days, with no sound but the wind in the pines and the beat of my own heart. In that vast quiet, I did not find emptiness. I found a profound fullness. The noise of the world is a thin, frantic thing. The silence of the soul is deep and eternal. It is the bedrock upon which a life of meaning must be built. Without it, you are at the mercy of every passing storm, a leaf blown from here to there, believing the wind's direction is your own. You fear silence because you fear yourself. You are afraid of what you might hear in that quiet room, the voice of your own discontent, the echo of your regrets, the sobering truth of your mortality. So you fill the air with radio and television. You fill your hours with trivial tasks. You fill your mind with the concerns of others. Anything to avoid the terrifying and glorious confrontation with your own soul. This avoidance is the root of all mediocrity. For it is only in the silent reckoning with oneself that the course of a life can be truly set. Stillness is not inactivity. It is not laziness. It is the most intense form of action. It is the action of the soul gathering itself, of the will focusing its power, of the spirit listening for the divine current. A tree is still, yet it is drawing water from deep underground and reaching for the sun. The ocean is still at its depths, even while storms rage on the surface. This is the stillness you must cultivate, not a stillness of stagnation, but a stillness of immense potential, of gathered force. How does one build this inner cathedral of quiet in a world of noise? You must become a gatekeeper of your own senses. You must declare that your mind is a sacred space and not a public thoroughfare. This requires a ruthless discipline. It means turning off the machinery of distraction. It means walking away from the gossip that feeds on your attention. It means sitting alone in a room without device or diversion and facing the initial discomfort until it gives way to peace. Begin with minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, before the world has laid its claims upon you. Sit, breathe. Let the thoughts come and go like clouds in a vast sky. Do not chase them. Do not judge them. Simply observe. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. In that space between thoughts, you will find it. The silence that is not empty but full. The peace that passes all understanding. From this place of stillness, your entire life will reorganize itself. Actions will spring from intention, not from reaction. Words will be chosen from a place of truth, not from a need to please or to provoke. You will no longer be tossed by the emotional weather of the day. You will have found your anchor. The world may scream its demands, but you will hear them from a distance, and you will be able to choose your response rather than being hijacked by your reflexes. This inner silence is the source of true power. The man who is never quiet is a man who is never truly listening. He hears only the echo of his own fears and desires. But the man who cultivates stillness becomes a conduit for a wisdom greater than his own. He receives insights that cannot be found in books. He is guided by an intuition that is the voice of the soul itself. He moves through the world not as a frantic seeker, but as a calm, deliberate, and potent force. Do not confuse motion with progress. Do not mistake noise for importance. The most significant things in your life, love, purpose, courage, faith, are not born in the crowd. They are born in the quiet, in the dark, in the deep, still soil of the soul. Tend that soil. Protect it from the endless noise. For in the end, the quality of your life will not be measured by the volume of your experiences, but by the depth of your understanding. And that depth is found only in the unshakable core of your own cultivated silence. Do not ask for a lighter load, but for a stronger back. Do not pray for an easier path, but for sturdier boots. The weight is the gift that forges the strength to carry it. The difference between the extraordinary life and the ordinary one is not a matter of circumstance, but of discipline. It is the daily, hourly, moment-by-moment choice to do what is right, what is necessary, what is excellent, long after the mood has left you, long after the initial passion has cooled. Discipline is the bridge between a dream and its reality. Without it, you are a ship without a rudder, drifting at the mercy of your own fleeting whims and the world's passing currents. You romanticize inspiration. You wait for a feeling to descend upon you like a dove from heaven before you will lift a finger to build your ark. I tell you, this is the philosophy of a child. The muse does not visit the idle. She rewards the laborer. She favors the hand that is already at work. Discipline is the practice of showing up day after day and doing the work whether you feel like it or not. It is making a covenant with your future self and honoring it, even when your present self would rather break the treaty. This inner command is the highest form of self-respect. It is the promise you make to yourself that you will not be a slave to your appetites, your laziness, or your fears. Every time you choose the difficult right over the easy wrong, you are voting for the kind of person you are becoming. You are sculpting your own character. A man without discipline is a man at war with himself, a kingdom in a state of civil war, where every base impulse and every lazy desire is a rebel that overthrows the rule of his better nature. Do not mistake discipline for deprivation. It is not the jailer of your joy. It is the architect of your freedom. The athlete who disciplines his body is free to perform feats of strength and grace that the slovenly man can only dream of. The writer who disciplines his mind to write each morning is free to create worlds, while the dilettante is enslaved to his writer's block. Discipline seems like a cage from the outside, but from the inside, it is the key to the prison of your own limitations. How is this iron will forged? It is not done in a single heroic moment. It is done in the small, invisible choices. It is the choice to rise at the first ring of the alarm. It is the choice to turn off the distraction and focus on the task. It is the choice to eat what nourishes the body, not just what pleases the tongue. It is the choice to speak the truth when a lie would be easier. It is the choice to do one more rep, write one more page, walk one more mile, when every fiber of your being screams to stop. These choices are the blows of the blacksmith's hammer. Individually, they seem insignificant, but cumulatively, they shape the hot, malleable iron of your potential into the sharp, unbreakable steel of your character. You are literally hammering yourself into a new form. A form that is capable of withstanding pressure, of holding an edge, of enduring. There will be days when the hammer feels too heavy, days when the fire seems to have gone out. This is the critical moment. This is where the men are separated from the boys. This is where you must have a creed, a philosophy, a reason why that is greater than your temporary discomfort. You must connect your daily discipline to a grander vision. You are not just waking up early, you are building a legacy. You are not just denying yourself a pleasure, you are honoring a higher purpose. Do not begrudge the struggle. The friction is what creates the heat. The resistance is what builds the strength. Embrace the grind. Find a sacred joy in the doing of the difficult thing, precisely because it is difficult. For in that victory over your weaker self, you taste a satisfaction far deeper than any fleeting pleasure could provide. Let discipline be your religion. Let your daily actions be your prayers. Let your unwavering commitment be your testament. For in the end, the life you will have lived will not be the life you dreamed of or the life you hoped for, but the life you actually built, brick by brick, with the unbreakable will of your own two hands. The hourglass does not care for your regrets. It pours its fine, relentless sand from future to past, and all your weeping will not return a single grain to the upper chamber. You are haunted by the ghost of yesterday and paralyzed by the phantom of tomorrow. You dwell in the cemetery of your past mistakes, pouring libations of regret on graves that cannot drink. And you daydream of a future field where the harvest is always abundant, but you never plant the seed today. This is the great theft of the human spirit, the sacrifice of the present moment on the altars of memory and anticipation. The past is a story you tell yourself. It is not a solid thing. It is a narrative, and you are its editor. You highlight certain events, you shade others in shadow, you interpret the meaning. You have the power right now to change the story. Not the facts. What was done is done, the sand has fallen. But you can change the meaning you assign to it. A failure can be a lesson or a tombstone. A heartbreak can be a wound or a university. The past only has the power over you that you grant it through your continued reverence for its tragedy. The future is a fantasy. It is a castle built of air and assumption. To mortgage your present joy and effort to the illusion of a future that may never come is the height of folly. I will be happy when is the mantra of the damned. I will start tomorrow is the song of the deluded. Tomorrow is a promise that no one is guaranteed. The future is a blank canvas, and the only brush that can paint upon it is the brush of present action. There is only one time that is real. There is only one time that you can actually live in. That time is now. This breath, this heartbeat, this moment, right here, as your eyes trace these words. This is the only point of power you will ever have. The past is gone. The future is not yet born. The present is the razor's edge upon which all of life balances. To miss it is to miss everything. Why do you flee from the now? Because it is where responsibility lives. It is easier to blame the past. I am this way because of what happened to me. It is easier to dream of the future. I will be great when the conditions are right. The present demands action. It demands choice. It demands that you be here, fully, without the anesthetic of regret or daydream. This is terrifying. It is also the only place where freedom exists. To conquer delay is to fall in love with the present moment. It is to see the eternal in the ordinary. The divine is not hiding in some far-off heaven or golden age. It is shimmering in the dust motes dancing in a sunbeam, in the steam rising from your morning coffee, in the weight of the tool in your hand, in the eye contact with the person before you. Heaven is now, or it is never. The work of your life is not waiting for you in some distant land. It is waiting for you in the very next thing your hand finds to do. Do it with exquisite attention. Pour your whole soul into the quality of your work, whether you are scrubbing a floor or drafting a treaty. For in that total immersion in the present task, you touch the timeless. You become an instrument of a purpose greater than your own small story. Do not wait to be happy. Happiness is not a destination. It is a manner of traveling. It is the byproduct of full engagement with the present moment. Do not wait to be brave. Courage is not a quality you will someday possess. It is a choice you make in the face of the present fear. Do not wait to live. Life is not a rehearsal for a performance that begins later. The curtain is up. You are on stage. This is it. The conquest of delay is the ultimate act of rebellion against the tyranny of time. It is to plant your flag in the eternal now and declare, this moment and no other is the moment I choose to act. This moment and no other is the moment I choose to live. For in the end, a life is nothing more than a collection of moments, attended to or ignored. And the man who masters the moment masters all. You are not a noun, but a verb. You are not a finished statue, but a constant becoming, a river of potential carving its way through the stone of what is toward the ocean of what could be. There are two men dwelling within your skin. The first is the man you are, comfortable, accustomed, a collection of habits and compromises, a monument to the path of least resistance. The second is the man you are destined to be, a figure of fire and purpose, a being of immense power and profound peace, a whisper of divine potential. The entirety of your life is the war between these two. The battlefield is your daily choice. The prize is your soul. You catch glimpses of this greater man in rare, unguarded moments. In the sudden surge of courage that surprises even you. In the flash of insight that seems to come from beyond you. In the quiet satisfaction of a hard task done well. In the depth of love you feel for a child, which hints at a capacity for feeling you did not know you possessed. These are not accidents, they are previews. They are messages from your future self, sent back through time to urge you on. This potential man is not a stranger. He is your truest self, shackled by fear, buried under the rubble of your excuses, silenced by the cacophony of the world's demands. He is not something you need to create from nothing. He is something you need to uncover. You are not building a new house. You are renovating the old one, tearing down the rotten walls of fear and throwing open the boarded-up windows to let in the light. The cost of ignoring this man is a life of quiet desperation, a perpetual sense of being a guest in your own skin, a stranger to your own destiny. You will feel a homesickness for a place you have never been, a longing for a self you have never met. This ache will be the background music of your life, a constant minor key reminder of the treason you are committing against your own possibility. How do you become him? You must first, in the quiet of your own heart, acknowledge that he exists. You must give him permission to be. You must, in your imagination, dare to picture him in full glory. What does he look like? How does he carry himself? What does he do with his days? What does he believe? See him. Feel him. This is not vanity. It is the blueprint from which you will build. Then you must begin the sacred work of alignment. You must ask yourself at every crossroads, in every moment of choice, which path brings me closer to that man? Which action is worthy of him? Which word reflects his character? You must make your decisions not from the place of the man you are, but from the aspirations of the man you are to be. You must act as if you are already him, and in the acting you will become. This is not a work of a day. It is the work of a lifetime. It is a slow, patient sculpting. You are the block of marble, and you are the sculptor. Each act of discipline is a chip of the hammer. Each moment of courage is a stroke of the chisel. Each choice for truth and beauty is the careful revealing of the form hidden within the stone. It is painful, it is messy, it is exhausting, but it is the only work that matters. Do not be dismayed by the gap between where you are and where you are going. That gap is not your enemy. It is your motivation. It is the space in which growth occurs. The man you are must be honored for getting you this far, but he must not be allowed to dictate the terms of the rest of the journey. Thank him for his service, and then gently, firmly, invite him to step aside. The world needs the man you could become. It does not need another copy of what already exists. It needs your unique fire, your singular song, your unrepeatable contribution. To withhold this is not humility. It is the highest form of arrogance. It is to look the universe in the eye and declare that its investment in you, the particular mix of talents, sufferings, and joys that is yours alone, was a waste. The journey is long, the path is steep, but you do not walk it alone. The man you could become is already waiting for you at the summit. He has been there all along. He is cheering you on. He is holding out his hand. All you have to do is take the next step, and then the next, and then the next, until one day you look in the mirror, and it is not the man you were who stares back. It is the man you were always meant to be.